So I'm Lucy. I'm a photographer and filmmaker and artist as well, I guess. And this is my micro commission for Crossing the T's Book Festival, and it's a Wuthering Heights installation. I think I just read the book last year and I just really liked it. I've always liked reading as a kid, but this was just a really cool book. Very dark and atmospheric, and also a romance story, very into romance. And yeah, I thought it had a lot of potential to create this atmosphere and a film and a setting. I'm interested in history in general. I kind of did a lot of research about what the dress would look like, what they dress like. Yeah, there's a lot of variations. So I saw the call out for an artist on Arts Jobs, for an artist to make something to do with literature. It was very, very vague. And I'd had this idea for a while, make a little movie about a book that I'd read. I think I'd just started reading Jane Austen, so I kind of had this idea to start planning my own adaptation, like make loads of storyboards and write a script and make a little movie. And so when I saw this call out, I thought it would go really well together. Sat down there and then and tried to make it into a solid idea that Crossing the T's would accept. I'm kind of interested in the idea of immersive. Had some vague ideas for the past year of trying to push my practice as a filmmaker and photographer, instead of having a show or an exhibition where it's just prints on a wall, trying to push that idea and make it into something new. Because of my interest in film and TV, I want to be a cinematographer, but I'm also interested in the art department. I kind of wanted to bring all those things that were going on in my head together into one project and see what I could do. Obviously the film was the main part, I guess. The set dressing bit was maybe the hardest because I'd never done it before, but it's obviously really important to get it right. When I submitted my proposal for this installation, I didn't know if they'd have a room to actually put it in. I don't really know how I imagined it working, but they got back in touch with me and they said they had the perfect room for it, and it's this imagination room in Thornaby Library. So I use it for slideshows, and there's a sensory room, and I think they used to bring groups in here and kids. Yeah, they said it would be perfect, and it has been. 3 projectors in the wall in total, so it kind of makes it immersive as it can be. It's a collection from a few different places. I think the first place I went to is Facebook Marketplace, and this is when I was still kind of in the research stage. I didn't quite know what I wanted, and obviously I had a budget of money and time and space, and I ended up getting this armchair from there. I got a lot of the chairs from this random warehouse in Middlesbrough. I got a chair from a friend at work, which has been really nice, and the big dresser, also from Facebook, but from like the local groups. I could just put a post out asking if anyone could help me, which they did, which was really nice. It's nice to like have a bit of help and support from the community. But then most of it, I think, has actually been from my grand's house. She came to visit it this week actually, and I was joking that it's basically just her house. Like, it's not going to be any different for her. So a lot of the rugs and like the bits and bobs are from hers. There's actually a junk shop in Redcar called Junk for Joy, I think, and that was really good. That was a really good place to find. And it was actually on a road called Vicarage Drive, which I thought was really good because the Brontes grew up in a vicarage or parsonage. I kind of had a few places in mind that I wanted to go to film, but the problem was I didn't actually know what I wanted the film to look like or to be. I actually went to Haworth and I took some footage there. I've been to Raby Castle, took footage around the woods near my house, in my grand's house. But I actually found this place where the film has actually been taken. Someone tweeted about this place, Grover Rake Mine, and the photos were really cool and atmospheric, I guess. I just went there by myself with my camera and my tripod and my dress in my backpack. It's like kind of in a valley where this house is, and then there's the mine structure and there's a few other buildings as well. So I just set my tripod up basically and took lots and lots of footage of just the house by itself. And then when I was comfortable enough, I got my dress on and sort of just messed about, kind of played around the house. I felt very silly doing it and I was just hoping that no one would come. But then I kind of got up on the hill and took some last minute footage, which I'm very happy about because it's actually the footage that's at the start. This project is kind of like a collection of all my hobbies, all the things I like, all the stuff that's going on in my head. I've always been interested in sewing, and I think in COVID I got my first sewing machine and I started making my own clothes or like kind of modifying my own clothes. So I knew when I got this commission that I wanted to make my own Wuthering Heights inspired dress. So I got some bed sheets from a charity shop, and it's like got loads of pretty flowers on, and I thought that was really nice. I kind of drew out what I kind of wanted it to look like, and I also went to some other shops to see if I could see anything that inspired me, and I did, to be fair, and I ended up drawing this dress that I wanted it to be. And yeah, started making it. I made 3 skirts, like ruffled them all and then sewed them together to make like the long dress. The top bit was a bit of like a challenge because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I kind of just copied the pattern of a top I already had, and then I did the arms, which took me a few goes because that's quite hard. Like attaching the shoulder to, attaching this bit is really hard. But yeah, I did it in the end, and honestly, when I finished it, I thought, oh my god, I don't know if this will actually fit me because I think I forgot to take measurements, but it did, and it's still together now. It's still a dress. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. At the start of the year, and actually a bit of last year as well, when I knew that this was happening, and I actually took part in a day's workshop at York Uni about immersive technology, and I actually spent a couple of days in Glasgow at this place called Cult VR Lab, and that's all about immersive film and technology, and they even do like immersive art installations and gallery exhibitions and stuff. And I went there with this project in mind of how can I take this further, and I actually came away with a few ideas of how to do this in VR. That's something that I'd really, really love to do. Similar to this, like dress a room up like Wuthering Heights and get people to go in, sit down, put on the VR headset, and in the VR world, they're inside the house, similar to this, they're watching the fireplace, and slowly, as they sit there, the kind of walls dissolve maybe, and the room kind of disappears, and they're eventually just sat on the moors in just the chair that they're sat in, but like in total isolation and bleakness, and hopefully they'll be really creeped out because it's just like, why am I just on a chair like in a random field? I say field, it's the moors. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping to do with it. People have even suggested to take it to the National Trust to kind of approach them with it. Maybe they have somewhere I could do it, something to do. Yeah. Hi, I'm Lucy Hardin and thank you for coming to my installation. I hope you enjoyed.